I don't think anyone who really has observed the legislature over the years can recall a session, 2015 session, that was more cantankerous and rancorous than this one. And there was a lot at stake with redistricting. What was at the bottom of this strife? There were issues for sure, but something happened to presiding officers who entered the session pretty personally close, and we thought politically close, but it all fell apart, and it's become very bitter. What did you observe? What happened?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think Senate President Andy Gardner and House Speaker Steve Crisafulli, yes, indeed, they are kind of close personally. Their districts are near each other. They're both two Central Florida guys of about the same age and to some degree same experience. But I think Gardner, the Senate President, surprised Crisafulli with his commitment to trying to expand Medicaid by introducing a privatized form of Medicaid expansion, which is an extension of the Affordable Care Act, which of course is President Obama's signature legislation. I think that was a surprise to the House, and that set things off on a very bad footing and led to a protracted fight that engulfed the state budget as well, and then with the backdrop of redistricting and a Senate presidency fight for the future leadership post, a lot of those things really clouded this session. But it comes down to, I think to some degree, I think the Senate is a very pragmatic body. They saw the Medicaid expansion idea as being something that could easily supplement what was going to be a loss of federal health care dollars in another sector. And the House won't go along with that. The House is very ideological, and they saw it as, we are not going to embrace anything that looks like it would be supportive of President Obama.
Steve, I think that one of the things about this legislative session that is an example that there's so many things feeding into what happened. As John was saying, there's the ideological versus pragmatic split between the House and the Senate, but to me there's also what's happening within the Republican caucus itself, and that is that the Senate had this really bitter Senate presidency fight that lasted probably a year longer than anybody thought it would last.
Almost to the end of 2015.
Yeah, it lasted the whole year, and then you had that whole dynamic that allowed the Medicaid fight to happen, which was this disagreement and lack of planning over losing federal LIP money. I think that is a reflection on the fact that if the governor's office had been a little more attuned to that, they could have used that issue and opened, I think, more dialogue about that earlier. I think that what we ended up with was this very polarized House and Senate. And when you have polarization, in the absence of strong leadership in the executive branch, that just leads to this meltdown. And I think it makes me wonder if we'd had a stronger governor who could have brought both factions of his party together, would things have looked differently?